All right, I'm going to do something a little different here tonight. Episode 5, Area 519 Talks. Uh, I'm actually, well, obviously, I'm outside. Uh, just with all the shit that's going on right now and all the uncertainty and all the chaos and shit that's going on, life can get, can be stressful for some people. Uh, Not too much for me, but I was at work today and thinking about some stuff and thinking about life and when I was a kid and stuff that used to make me happy and places that I used to go, and with social distancing and so on and so forth. So I thought, you know what was one place that I used to get a lot of joy, and a place that I was happy when I was a kid. So I decided to come down to a little creek that I used to fish at when I was a kid, Sharps Creek, just outside of Holmesville. So that's where I am right now, and I'm actually going to take a walk back through the creek to some of the places I used to fish when I was a kid. I got some of my best times as a kid, a lot of my fondest memories. Um, some of my fondest memories are coming back here when I was a kid, back when I used to get on my bicycle and bike down here and go fishing. Um, I haven't ridden a bike in a long time. I've had a license for 26 years now, but when I was a kid, I used to come down here after schools or weekends and come down here and fish. Sometimes with some friends. A lot of the times, I just came down here by myself. So I'm going to take a walk back through the bush here. This podcast may look a little bit like the Blair Witch Project, trying to navigate through the bush, trying to hold a cell phone out in front of me. I don't have a selfie stick or any of that nonsense, so I'm gonna try this. Um, I haven't actually been back here. I haven't taken a hike back here in probably over 10 years. It's been a long time, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna see when I get walking back into the bush. It could be all growing in, and this could be a complete disaster trying to film myself walking through the bush and trying to do a little podcast. But I'm gonna give it a go. I don't even think I've actually fished back here, and I bet you it's been almost 20 years since I've actually came down here with a fishing rod and tossed the line in. But I thought about this today. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a walk back into Sharps Creek and a little walk through memory lane and check out some of the spots I used to have a lot of fun and enjoyed when I was a much younger version of myself. Um, right now, I'm just standing on the bridge at Sharps Creek. Uh, this creek used to be really great for spring rainbow trout. It is, what is it? It's April 7th, so it's still potentially a bit early for the trout to have made it up here yet. Uh, like I said, it's been almost 10 years since I've even been back here, and I think the last time I was back here 10 years ago was at this time of year, the end of April, when the trout are up and the trout are spawning. And I didn't even see any trout. I didn't see any traces of them being here, like in the rapids where they spawn. You can see where they stir up the dirt and the gravel in the bottom of the rapids where they would build their nest to lay eggs. And so even if they're not here, you can see evidence of them being here, and I didn't even see that 10 years ago. The fish runs in these smaller creeks have decreased over the years. There's just not as many of them. And this is like a creek that runs through a bush, so there could be multiple beaver dams that that restrict them, or cause barriers for them to get up here. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get lucky, and maybe there might be a few rainbows in here. I don't know. So I'm gonna try and navigate. Oh, let's give you a little peek at what the other side of the bridge looks like here. It's a big tree there that's fallen down. So I'm not sure, the lighting might be a little terrible, but yeah, the trail's already getting a little rough through here. You're gonna hear all kinds of branches, and I won't be looking at the camera too much trying to get down through here. But yeah, I spent a lot of time down here as a kid. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of overgrowth, and this is really growing in. I don't even know if this is even really gonna work. This was all one big open path a long time ago. But whatever, I wanted to come back here, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to try and do a little podcast. So yeah, got my hand in the way there. So yeah, there's some ducks in here, and it's a really beautiful spot back here. I want to bring my kids down here sometime. I think they'd really enjoy that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. There's a little creek here. That I gotta navigate my way through. Probably muddy as fuck by the time I actually get back out of here. So I'm just gonna turn the camera around here and kind of let you guys see a bit of the trail here instead of looking at my face. But yeah, when I was young, like just a young teenager, like I said, when I used to come down here on my bicycle, there'd be so many fish in here. It was so thick, like the fish. Like it's just a little creek. And there used to be so many rainbow trout would come up here in the spring. And I'd fish down here for hours when I was a kid. I'd spend like all day down here. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I've ever actually I hooked a few when I was down here, but I actually don't remember landing any. Like I don't remember even actually catching any fish when I was actually down here. There's a few other places I used to fish at, like in the Maitland up near the old dump and stuff. I used to go in there, and there were such beautiful spots in the river. Like just really, really nice runs and sets of rapids and stuff. And I'd fish and fish and fish for hours and days, and never really caught anything. But there was just something about being down there and just how beautiful it was, and just it was just so, being outside and being in like with nature, and actually seeing the fish spawning and stuff. And I've never been a great fisherman. I always enjoyed doing it, but I was never really great at it. Like my buddy Dave, Derby Dave, who's been on my podcast a few times and will be many more. That guy can catch fish. Like, that guy is just unbelievable when it comes to catching fish. But so right now I'm just getting into the first little run here that I used to fish at. I'm just looking at it right now. I'll turn the camera around. There's a bit of a clusterfuck in the middle of the river here, but you can see like where it comes down, and there's where all that shit is there. It's a bit of a hole there. It's not overly deep, but it's a bit of a hole, and the fish would kind of sit in here and hold in here, and I'd drift, spawn and stuff in through here. There's nothing in here yet, or maybe not ever again this year. But like you can see, the layout of the creek. It's just absolutely gorgeous back here. I can't believe, I waited 10 years to come back down here. Yeah, but this would be what I'm looking at now. A nice little set of rapids. And like I said, it's really early in the season. But you'd be able to tell if there was fish had been here, because they'd have the gravel all torn up and stuff. And oh my lord, they're here. I just saw one. There is rainbow trout here. That is super. That's so awesome. I just saw one. I'm gonna try and point the camera, but right over there, just on the opposite side, you'll see a log, a small log in the water there, and I can actually see where they got it dug up. There is a spawn bed there. That's super cool. That's a really nice surprise. I wasn't actually expecting to see any rainbows in here, but yes, they are here. Super, super awesome. The water is super crystal clear right now, so the second I even got over here, that fish would have seen me, and he darted into this big pile of shit over here. But that's super cool, man. Super cool. Let's wander down a bit further and see if there's see if there's some more surprises up the river, up the creek here. Yeah, it's exactly how I remembered it too. Nothing's really changed. A bit of overgrowth, but oh, that's just super cool. I don't even know if anybody even fishes back here. Well, you can't fish back here right now. Like, the season's not open. All the rivers and creeks and streams and stuff are closed until I believe it's the last Saturday in April, before everything opens up. But I'm not back here fishing. I'm just back here looking, doing a podcast, just enjoying being outside, and just really just loving this. Brings me back to my childhood. So down here, so that little, I'm going to turn the camera around again, so you can see where the rapid flows into here. This is kind of another little spot where they'll sit in here, and they'll kind of hold in here. This is super cool. I'm really glad I came back here and checked this out. I hope this isn't boring for anybody, but I'm absolutely completely enjoying myself right now. And I hope you guys enjoy this too. Well, so far I've only seen the one, which means there's more than one. They are spawning here, so there's at least two. Because, you know, just like humans, you do need a male and a female to reproduce. So, this is absolutely beautiful back here. Oh. Sorry, I'm kind of switching my hands back and forth, trying to hold this phone out. But this is super awesome. I know I'm saying that a whole lot, so just bear with me. I kind of got to backtrack here. Got underneath some twigs and branches. Oop. I remember, I don't know, I was maybe 15 years old. It was opening weekend. It was the first Saturday of the creeks and the streams opening up. And there was a girl that I was crushing on hardcore when I was young. She lived down the road from me, just up the road from the creek here. And her name was Lisa. If she's watching, if she watches this, she'll know who she knows I'm talking about her. And I said, you got to come fishing with me in the morning. And she did. She agreed to it, and she actually got up at like 6 in the morning. And I walked down, because I had to walk by her house to get here. And she came down with me. I couldn't believe her mother to this day still talks. I can't believe she got up at 6 in the morning and went fishing with you. But anyway, she did. She came down. It was the end of April. Full of fish. There was just astronomical amount of rainbow trout in here. And of course, I'm trying to, catch fish and, show her how much of a man I am. Couldn't catch shit to save my life, but whatever. But the thing I remember most about that day is it started to snow. And it was almost like a blizzard down here. Like, it was snowing really, really hard. Like, considering it was like the end of April, just, a few days away from the 1st of May. But yeah, I remember that. It was snowing, coming down like crazy. But no, I never did catch anything that day. But that's the day I'll never forget. And I hope she doesn't forget that day either. I haven't seen anything else yet. I'm just sneaking up to the edge here, because sometimes they sit in here, and if there is anything, I will end up spooking it. But so I'm just gonna turn the camera around here and just kind of give you a view of this absolutely breathtaking, beautiful view of this creek running through the bush here. It's starting to rain a little bit, but it's been overcast all day. But it's like 9-10 degrees out, so the weather is good. I just got a hoodie on, obviously, and I'm not cold. But I'm also a little excited too. So here's another hole here. At another little holding spot where they would sit. I don't see anything in there, but I do over here. I do see another spawning bed in the top of the rapids over here. I don't see anything in it, but that is definitely a fresh spawning bed. Chances are I would have spooked them already. But there's definitely evidence of more rainbows in here, which is very exciting. I don't see them, so I'm just going to go right down to the edge of the bank here, and maybe you guys can see what a spawn bed looks like if I can get it on the, if you guys can see it. Yeah, they're definitely here. So I'm going to turn the camera around, and what you're going to see, or what I'm hoping you're going to see, is a patch of gravel in the bed of the river that's a different color. It's a bit brighter than the other stones that are around it, and that's where the fish have dug it up with their tails, and then they'll lay their eggs in there. So I'm gonna try, and hopefully you can see this. This is super cool for me. So you can see there's a little circle patch there in the riverbank that's like where it looks, you can see where the rocks have been turned over. So that's where a male and a female would have dug that nest out. Like I said, I probably spooked them away. So those two fish will be hiding somewhere in this hole here. They'll be in here in the shadows. And then once I fuck off, then they'll probably move back up, or no, they will. They'll move back up into their spawning bed and carry on with nature, reproducing. There's a lot of new vegetation starting to come up now. There's some flowers popping up, and some grass and some weeds and stuff popping up in places. There's another spawn bed just right here too. So there's definitely a few fish in here. So yeah, there's another spawn bed there. I don't see any fish, but like I said, I probably spooked them before I came around the corner, because the water's super crystal clear right now. Oh, here's another spawn bed here too. So yeah, there's definitely some fish in here. This is really exciting. So I'm just going to turn the camera around again and give you a bit of a view of what it is that I'm looking at. I don't know if you can actually hear the sound of the water running through these light little set of rapids, but there's just something that's so peaceful and relaxing, almost tranquil, about just being still and quiet, and just listening to that beautiful sound of that water running through here. It's just so peaceful back here. So I'm gonna carry on. I'm not gonna go much further up here. Usually it's just another couple 100 feet is usually where, oh, there's another spawn bed there too. Geez, they're everywhere. But like I said, I've scared them. I've probably spooked them all. Yeah, there's two more spawn beds right in front of me. Right in front of me. So there's definitely, that's a decent sized spawn bed there too. There could be multiple fish spawning in that one. So yeah, there's a hill up here. I'm just gonna, it's an idea of, I don't know what this is, but there's all kinds of these starting to pop up all over the place. I don't know what that is, but there's all kinds of them starting to pop up here. If you do know what it is, and feel free to leave a comment. I don't know. I don't care. So there's a hill up here. This is usually where I stop. And then once you get up here, then you can look down, and there's well, like I said, there was a big deep hole down in here. Well, there's a big tree that's all fallen in here. There used to be two brothers. I won't mention their name, but they're from Goderich. and they used to camp up here every year on opening weekend. They'd drag their tents and their camping gear, and they'd camp up here every year on opening weekend. And I know the older brother, he's still an avid fisherman, excellent fisherman. I still see him around and stuff. But they used to camp up here. It's all growing in now. I don't even know where, there's not even anywhere where you would even pitch a tent up here anymore. It's all overgrown. Oop, there's my hand in the camera again. But yeah, it used to be like, I'm just gonna do a little circle here, but you can see everything's all growing in. There's not even any place to even put a tent here anymore. But yeah, everything's really growing in. You used to be able to just stand up here and look right into the hole, but you can't. So I'm gonna backtrack here, and I'll turn the camera around so you can get a view of the view from up here. So I'm going to turn the camera around now so you can get a look at this. Now this creek actually only runs down for maybe another kilometer, and then it drains into the mighty Maitland. And actually just down further, down the kilometer just before it actually runs into the Maitland. I may at some point in the future do a little podcast down there too, but there's an old bridge, like a really like rickety, like super old bridge. It actually reminds me, I don't even know what the movie's called anymore. Road Trip, I think it was Road Trip, where the guy makes accidentally sends the wrong videotape to his girlfriend or something. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. And along their adventure, they come across this old bridge that they try to launch the car over this bridge that's really rickety. This bridge that I'm speaking of is pretty much like that bridge in the movie, but when I was a kid, a lot of my friends, we all used to go and we all used to sit on this bridge and we catch chub and rock bass and the odd little catfish. And we used to catch trout down there in the spring. So it's yeah, it's part of this creek. It's about a kilometer up. Spent a lot of time fishing off that bridge. It just, in the summertime, even like just catching chubs and rock bass. It was a lot of fun, and I very, very much look forward to bringing my two kids to that bridge and fishing off that bridge. Maybe this year. I tried to take them fishing a little bit this past year, but being 5 and 4 at the time, it's hard to keep a kid's attention span, but I might give it a go this year. So I'm walking back through the trail where I came from. I don't know if any of those fish would have came back. I don't see anything.